Okay, so I just woke up. It's 2:42. I had to look at my phone though. I can't even tell you though how many times I look over that motherfucking stove, and my eyes even play tricks on me because, or it's like I think that we play tricks on ourselves. Like, because I've walked past that thing, so the stove so many times it says F9, I think. Yeah, F9, and all the time. I gotta turn off my breakers and see if that resets it. You know, like when you turn your phone off. Because the stuff does, it's just weird. It's just weird. I just know it's part of the whole thing. It's part of the world falling apart. It's part of my house trying to push me and go like, you've outgrown us, but you've made us a place of love now. It is like what the messages was like, that I brought love to this house. It's gonna make me cry. I can't talk about it. We just don't realize how much we affect the world because we're so cut off from it. Just like what I was saying, is that the things that are speaking to us, we are the ones who are blocking it off. We don't want to see it. We don't want to hear it. The house can't talk to you. Trees aren't talking to you. What are you talking about, weirdo? What, the birds? Oh, you think the birds are talking to you? Like, you know what I mean? A spider came and talked to me last night in a dream, by the way, and it fucking didn't even just show up. It fucking screamed. It was the craziest fucking thing. It was so crazy. It was so huge of a spider too. And it had a strong message. And I said, so this morning when all of a sudden, I was like, because it's like a lot of my consciousness has to go back together, is more of my waking up. It's like they all start talking to each other. Like this one's talking, I'm trying to listen, but it's like they all come together. It's like, okay, let's talk now. It's like, okay. So I had to get the fire going. It is so fucking cold. And it's an unnatural cold. The whole thing's unnatural. Okay, so because we're in an unnatural world and it has to fall apart so that we can realize we have to see. And so I was walking to the door one of the times and I'm asking the universe questions. I'm always talking to them. Like, you guys have no idea like what I mean when I'm like, there's a reason I would totally be somebody who they would lock up 100%. But you have to be strong in your knowing. You have to be strong in your beliefs, man. They fucking take you down. So I was walking to the door, and of course I looked over because I look over at the goddamn thing 100,000 times a day to see what time it is. And because it's just like this natural thing. I don't know. It's just like you're going through the day and it's like, oh, this is dragging. Checked for a million things to watch. Nothing's on. To listen to music. Crocheted a while. Like, what the fuck time is it? Like, and so I've done that a zillion times. Like I've said, it always is like my pocket of time does not match what's going on. It's strange, but it is, it still gives me an idea of like, how the day is going, like when you're out here in the observer mode and you're still in this reality where has a set thing going on. It's like these different lives happen. It's like these different realities, these different realms. Like mine is so different. So I walked to the door. It's a letter in or a letter out, I don't remember. And I looked over, and I'm talking to them though, you gotta keep in mind. And then I look over and I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I get it. So you're saying that there's progress and or we're moving, things are going, don't worry, things are going. And so I let her out and I turn around and I'm like, wait, there's no clock. And it's like, there doesn't have to be. And I was like, oh, but see, that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing you got to go through for yourself. And then this morning when I asked the spider, so when I was coming into a thing and I was like, oh, fuck, a spider came in my dream last night. That's a messenger. So I was laying there, I was keeping my eyes closed, really focused. And I asked, what is the message? And yelled out, get ready. I was like, fuck you, let's go, motherfuckers. So there's a few things. So I'm gonna try because I just got up, and I went on there, and the first thing was Duran. So there I was, mesmerized, going through LA, waiting to see what's about to go on. But I really got a sense now of like more his jive, his energy, because before I would just see it for a second and I would just keep going. But then once I started seeing like, well, he's downtown LA, where's the fucking protest? Where's that, start trying to see like, what is it like? I don't know what he's looking at because like I said, everybody's awake to different things. Like he understood that the Tifa goes out and pretends to be other groups. He made sure to reference that. So he's probably seen some shit, but then he was making fun of the people who were protesting. I'm not sure what they were protesting for. If it was the pack, if it was, I mean, it could be so many things. And I mean, at this point, they could just grab any old protest they see anywhere and take pictures and say, hey, when they put on some CGI flags, hey, look at this one, look at this one. It's all manipulation. But there's a lot of people out standing up for a lot of different things. There's people standing up for school shit. There's people standing up for job shit. There's all sorts of stuff. So, anyways, but the way he was making fun of them and talking about, them wearing the shoes, which a lot of the newer hippie people all wear those shoes. They're just like, and it's all, it's a progression. And everybody, once you start on the stairs, it's like the thing in I know it's in Denver airport. I think it's in a bunch of them, but the moving, it's like an escalator, but it's flat. It's a moving sidewalk, which in the 1800s at the state fair, those were everywhere. That's how the people just travel around. They just stand there with their little parasols and their fancy little clothes and their cool ass hats and go around these things on this moving thing, and be courted too. Somebody be standing there, wanting your time, wanting to talk to you, wanting to try and tell you what they've got to offer and how great they are and how great you guys could be together. And it's just, I'm sure that there was stuff about love, but there was a thing where people were cut off during certain ages from their sexuality. They were shamed and stuff. Like, it's been a process through all the generations, through all the different ages of all the different places. And so we had to go through this darkness on this sexuality. As the sexuality came into existence, then it had to, because in all these other places, it's not the same thing. And remember when the Anunnaki said how grossed out they were because it was so sexual. But this planet is of birth. That's why you're birthed into it. It's a birth. It's like grows. And so it's a natural thing, man, the sexual aspect of it. And so, but, in this progression through our learning as beings, then that had to open us up, and we had to see these dark sides. We had to see, these things. And that's why I talk about that we are the seeders. We're the ones who look around, we see, and we see what's like wrong. And then it's like it's this natural thing that happens in your mind. It's not like I have to tell you. I just am trying to open you up to yourself and remind you who you are, and try and tell you you're not crazy. This stuff is real. This world wants you to believe you're crazy because they want to keep you in limitation. And I'm just somebody who somehow got through the cracks and am on this side trying to scream at everybody from the dock, hey guys, it's over here, it's over here. And you've got so many different docks and different people screaming at all different levels of this shit. So, and I just like, that guy doesn't understand, when he's making fun of these people who are out there barefoot, he doesn't understand that that's the whole thing. He doesn't understand that we're electronic. We've got to plug into the earth, and it's necessary for our health. And they didn't tell us that part. They wanted to put the plastic shoes on us, the rubber shoes, which then the people will finish the earth thing and go put on the soft, comfy rubber shoes that have nowhere to go on the planet but into the ground to turn into the rock. But see, that's what turns into the rock, turns into the petroleum and all of the rock. But the problem is that they put in so much artificial because they can't match God. All they can do is try and create through artificial and superficial. And as long as they get us to go like, oh, we don't want God, we trust the artificial superficial. Oh, nature can't help us. pharmaceuticals can. So it's us that has all this progression, and we're all on these different levels. But you move through your own without anybody having to do anything. You're the seeker. You're the one who moves yourself. And this is what I keep talking about through this awakening, how you have all these people who are so stuck. I have so many things going right now, so it's very distracting sometimes. So okay, so you have all these people who are stuck at all these different levels, but it's really necessary through the awakening is those people, because they're the loudest. They're just like in their panic, and they send out it's like the hollering from the foghorn thing, you know. It's like Paul Revere. It's like Paul Revere. There's a panic, you know, like get worried, which is so trippy too. Is like that is what was coming to my mind about Duran. He's like, back in the olden days when they first were settling in, supposedly in our history, and people used candle lights and stuff. And this I had seen on a History Channel thing, and that people had candlelight, and so when they would go to bed at night, that was the most dangerous time for everybody. And so they would have a person, I can't think of what they were called, something like a caller or something. You could look it up. I think it's really interesting. Just shows how a village works. It just shows how we come together. And so this person, and I don't know if it would rotate. I don't know if it's different people, if this was their job and everybody would pay them or whatever. Like what I said before, when I was like the water carrier for the village, like I was a fucking revered job. Like this one, like this guy who stays up all night, goes around staying up for everybody's safety. You know, he could be a totally revered job where everybody just like, buy him a beer, whatever he wants, Sam. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody just loves him. And so, but he would go around that's what he would say. All's good. That's what he would just walk around ringing his bell all night. All's good. All's good. So people could just relax, because this guy would walk around and watch over them all night. And I thought that's so fucking cool. But that was kind of like what it was reminding me with Duran, how he's going around. He's always looking for, but there's another level to that, because he's doing it for views and stuff, and he gets the people on. And then he's kind of gone into like fucking Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie. I think it was A True Story. I can't remember. But it was the one where the news guy, and he started even, I think, creating news to get views, because, you know, it's like when you get a taste of something and it tastes good, how do you keep getting it? And that's the drive to so many addictions, so many perpetrators of following the darkness and going in the wrong direction. But it's all lessons, it's all learning, and they have to. Everybody has to play all these parts. That's how the universe learns. Like, that's how it all works. And right now we're in quite the puzzle. Like, boy, watching the people go on the Matthew, isn't his name Matthew Perry? Like, whatever, the Friends fella that just passed on. All of the stuff people are talking and sharing, like, as the giant conspiracy, like, it's interesting to watch. But see, that is the thing, is like, these people just dive in. They get so like, you know, they're just freaking out. But that is a certain energy. But it's also an energy that I'm talking about when this big abrupt thing happens, and it goes, and they see what they were in fear of wasn't going to happen. Then it's going to be awakening for them too. And that was a big thing that I wanted to say was, so last night before I went to bed, I saw this guy. He was some military person or something. And it's one of these people who have got like this leaked stuff. Because, and this was, Juan was saying they were going to be doing this all this year. There was going to be stuff leaking out. They were trying to leak stuff out to the general population through the 100th monkey effect, through, you know, people like me screaming about something, and then it goes in the next people and they get comfortable talking about it, because then they get confirmation. So more and more and more, it just spreads like wildfire once we, once we light the match, it goes. And but that's how we start to begin to understand our own energy and our own connection. And just like in comments, when people are always like, the synchronicities that go on between all of our lives are crazy. And I watch people on TikTok all the time having these realizations and stuff. So it's real, and it's super cool, you know. And it's based on frequency and vibration. It's like your resonance. So, there are going to be people who they are in a different resonance, and, you can judge where they're at or whatever, but it's always going back to yourself and remembering your own struggles and stuff, remembering everybody's learning, everybody. So it's not, even if you're noticing, like what I was talking about with judgment before, noticing is what you do with it after. Which direction you go. You start saying that person's an idiot, they're stupid as shit, or you're like going the other direction. Like, I totally relate. And learn. It's a learning. It's a transmutation, transmuting the energy, going the other direction, making it turn in another way, and it kind of even pulls their energy if you turn it, like with Dandelion, like that one girl who I've been talking about, who's been going through this stuff, and then she was doing all these things that I thought, this is going to be so much like, she's just putting so much of her insecurities out there, and she doesn't realize, because that is a part of the victimization of humanity, like, poor me, poor me. And so, just have watched her with this huge public thing that she's been going through of all this stuff. And those things, there's a purpose to it and everything, but for the people, like, I can see, like, their lessons coming in. I can see, like, incoming and stuff. And so, for that energetic intersection the other day when she came on and said some comment to me, and so I gotta say something. It just was like, when she's on her thing and she's talking to her people, she get rude people who become super defensive too. And then she'll get the people, the yes people, like, yes, yes, because they're all going through the same thing. They're in the similar resonance. But then she breaks loose from that. She goes in, she sees me say something. This is universal. This is a attraction that you don't understand. This is like, you're drawn to people. You're drawn to things. It is just like how people are saying they're so glad, that the universe brought me to them now. Watch how this is going to play out. It's going to get crazy. And so, anyways, this girl, for her to come into my comments, then I'm a totally different energy. I'm a totally different resonance. And so she comes in and says something, and I say something back. And this is one thing I really started noticing, is how people can take what you say in so many different ways. It's crazy. And why texting is even limits us more in our communication. But so she said something, and people always take it in the way of their understanding, to the level of how they understand at this time. I'm not even saying as their soul. It's totally different conversations, and when you're in your true life than you are when you're in the game. And the challenges in the game are, huge, and they're different than what people understand. They're very internal. They're very much of creating you into I was hard to get off my tongue. It was like stuck, because I was going to say angel. I was seeing it and stuff, and I don't know why it got stuck like that. But like an angelic force, you're working towards the light. You're working out of the dark towards the light. And so you're working, it's like you're trying to get your wings through, you're going through all of these practices and these understandings, and going through these different lives and seeing, and because it gives you so much love and appreciation, and so much, wanting to help others and stuff. And so, it's like you're getting your wings, you're working towards, that's the schooling that happens. But it's like, it's so much bigger than that, because it's such a huge thing. It's how the universe moves. It's how it expands, is through experience, and it relies on us to experience. And where we try and all have the same experience, that becomes like a roadblock. It becomes like a diseased part, an area you can't get through. That's why that's when we got covered with the dome. And then but that is why so much this other energy has come in to break that up. And it's through stuff like this, through the 100th monkey, through talking and stuff. So anyways, they understand all that stuff, because they understand the metaphysical. That's the hidden knowledge. That's what they don't want us to know, because that would make us understand who and what we are, and that we're super powerful. And due to our incarnating, we grow. And since they stay here and they don't grow. So they don't expand. That's they're very limited. So we are like gods to them. We are, and that's why they fear us, but they see us as like gods that are so stupid because they can keep us in ignorance. They can keep us chasing our tails, chasing something shiny. So it's a game to them. But then, they could fuck around when there wasn't so much light. But then the light came in. And so then it's like, fuck around, find out. And that's what's going to happen this week. So, so LA seems to still be on the map. Deron was out there busily looking for trouble. He's like looking for the malarkey. And he got real pissed when it was looking like there was going to be a big car chase. There was a lot of stuff going on that radio thing, the police radio thing about cars and suspicion. They're following it, all sorts of stuff. So that to me is where I pay attention. It's like the same thing as like, get shit set up. And what was that one too? Because I saw a video of somebody and said, why would they be putting this out here right now? And I don't remember what city it was, but all I know is they're setting up trouble. Definitely setting up trouble. And since they are so much more limited, see, they brought all these people in and then mixed them in with all these other people. So we've got like these soldiers and, it's a certain energy. And it may even be like that they even, tell them, well, we'll give you an apartment if you go out and march in the streets, to some of them. But then other ones, they have assignments, like just in the same level of all communities. It's all different, need to know. Some of us are just trying to live our lives. So, but there's other ones that are here to take it down. And, and they always have something they're chasing. And, but it's all a part of it. It's all a part of the scheming and stuff, I mean, we're pretty creative people, or creatures, beings, whatever you want to call us. And that's just the souls of us, what we do, what we experience, what we create, what we make. And so this guy who I saw last night, so he's one of these like leaked footage things, that supposedly. And so he's a military person, and he was saying for everybody to really get ready. He said, this is going to be super, super bad. He's like, really bad. And he said, just keep in mind the events that we've had to go through to wake people up. And he said, the September one that, we celebrate, I guess, we acknowledge. I think it's probably a ritual situation for these weirdos. There is so much weird stuff with that fucking Friends fella, Matt. Is it Matt? No. Matthew Perry. Matt. I don't fucking know. Whatever his name is. And, but the front, the one who just left. And, just so much weird stuff. The Matt Man, the Bap Man, all that weird stuff. And, there was like, man, it's just hard to know. Like, was he a bad guy? Was he signaling to the other bad people that he was gone now? And there's some weird stuff. You just got to go watch the breakdowns, and then possibly got to just see how stuff plays out. But anyway, so this fellow was saying that those are the big things that have to wake people up. He said that one woke up so many people. And then, what was the next one? Oh, the sickness. He said that one woke up tons of people. But he said, you see how bad it has to get. It has to get so bad to get people to wake up. And he said, you can see, like, it's different levels. Like, there was those of us like me who we woke up early on, but, I had already gone through my brain injury. Like, I was already having to make huge changes in my life. So it was like I was real open to what was going on. I was real aware. I was seeing things. And that's why I know it was destiny. It was what was supposed to happen. It was always going to happen that way. I always had to get over it and not hold on to it, not hold myself back. And I always had to keep me, like, I can see so much stuff. But anyways, so he said that there was a huge amount of people who woke up. And I wouldn't say that that September event woke me up. I mean, I didn't trust the government before. Fuck, god damn, I was telling people the whole motherfucking time since I was a teenager, the corruption. I kept asking people like about like taxes and like, you guys don't care, like they just can send all this money. I kept saying stuff about what was going on in the Middle East and all the murder and mayhem and stuff. Like, it was always hyper aware of that kind of stuff. So I didn't need to wake up to that. I was like, I knew it. Just like being a little kid and just being hyper aware of conspiracies and government, I was like, it was something I was supposed to know. I was supposed to be aware of. I was supposed to be alert to. But then when you are alert to the things you're supposed to be alert to, people think you're weird. You pay attention to weird things. Why do you care and stuff? It's like, because I'm here to tell you guys you should care. Like, that's why. Now look where we are. And so anyways, but in the other event, that is what woke me up to the manipulation. That's when I saw like, oh my God, I'm not the crazy one. I'm not the one who doesn't fit in. I'm the one that everybody needs to flip over to my side. And it's like, we're all standing over. There's not many of us over here. It's going to get heavy. It's going to fall over when everybody steps on the right side. Everybody's in the dark. And so that is when I became aware of that. That was just like fucking, I couldn't believe. Like, the lights came on, man, when I saw that. And then I saw how the people were being manipulated. Because even when, if I try and think of how it played out, I just remember it was like I knew that the sickness bullshit. I knew it was bullshit because I had medical background. And so that's what drew me into, okay, what the fuck? And there was all this constant, these briefings every day and all this shit. And I was like, okay, what in the fuck are they trying to pull on us now? And I had all day, man. I had all day. And so I watched him talk, and that's when I started, I would see these people who would come up on the stage, and they would be lying and stuff, and he'd make faces and stuff. Like, to me, he made signals. Like, he knew that they were lying, but I mean, you could see how people treated him. Like, he couldn't fucking go up against some of these people. Are you kidding? And call them out? What? Like, I mean, that's when it is that people go further in the awakening. That's when they have to come into these realizations. Like, you guys were wanting things from him that were unrealistic. And so, anyways, he had to bring all these people up to expose them. Because, I mean, probably some of them wanted to stay hidden through this. They probably did not want to walk onto that stage. They like to stay back there in the dark. I mean, that's the lights come on the fucking AIDS, boy. All of a sudden, that fella. And then when that fella comes out, then we got fucking Judy coming out on the other end. And so then, I was trying to send her videos out to people and to try and calm them down because everybody's fucking freaking out. And I try and tell them, you guys, you're not going to die from this. Like, I would try and tell, oh my God, no, you just don't understand. And I was like, I think I do. I don't think things could change that much. And the only thing that I've come to realize is that there is not really sickness. That it's really, that we're being poisoned all the time. And then they come up with sicknesses to try and cover it. And then they come up with these, they come at us with these, I don't know, I'm just going to call them researches. Go, if you listen to Judy, and she was a microbiologist who worked under him, who when she stood up to him, then they arrested her, all sorts of shit. And, but they manufacture this shit to try and come up with ways to make us sick. And it's all to come up with the solution, make them sick. So then they are desperate to get the antidote. So then charge them whatever for the antidote. And then that's what they've done with all these people, by taking off their parts and switching them out like fucking Mr. Potato Head. Is then they've got to rely on them for that fucking pill. They can do whatever they want without price gouging They can inflate it, deflate it, make it go away. They've got them wrapped around their finger. And so, no, but you can see like how far we would go and how far they would take us. So it had to hit a wall. And it's like it's played out, but we're going to really see it's going to sink in. So when I was seeing, oh my gosh, here we go. Here you're going to get your wish, Crystal. Here she comes. We'll see. See, that's the sound voice she makes, but it reminds me of her being a big cat. She makes so many sounds like a cat. These growly sounds and stuff. A big cat, like the life I know of her, where she ate me, was a tiger. Oh, you're not going to ring the bell? Crystal really wants you to ring the bell, honey. Do you want out? Oh, she's probably just is like, no, I want a treat. And if I ring the bell, you're going to get mad at me. Honey, just wait until I finish doing this, okay? It's just not that much longer. It's 30 minutes in. There you go, Crystal. Okay, hold on. Let me let her out real quick. Okay, drama. Okay, Crystal got her wish. So, okay. Anyways, so so when I was seeing the stuff, like I knew there was lying, I was seeing like a lot of suspicious shit. And then it was what really brought it home was when I saw what the news would say, like, because I would be on Twitter and stuff. And so the things the news would say, and then anything I would try and say, the people would tell me I was a liar and stuff because the news was saying something different. And that is when I started really, things were really sinking in, you know. And I was really scared to tell anybody in my family that while I was watching this, that I started really liking the guy. I started seeing like, this guy's hilarious. Like if they're talking and he's making faces and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. This guy's for me. And so then and the lying and stuff, like I could see what was going on. I just could see it from the start. As soon as I opened my mind, as soon as I opened my eyes to see, I could see it. And that's what blows my mind is like, I don't know how other people, but it's supposed to be, they're supposed to get stuck. They're supposed to be stuck where they are. It just wasn't what I came to play. It's not the role I came to do. So I just kept seeing things. And I could see that from the start. And it's because I was already awakened from the other parts, the other stuff. And so this was a part of me all of a sudden realizing, you know, things about myself, about the other people around me. And so I was worried to tell my family, you know, because my family is all super progressive, fucking all a bunch of, if I say anything about anything spiritual at all, that they automatically just cut me off. I'm a religious kook. And they just don't get it. So many people only can understand soul through religion. They don't understand it at all. And trying to talk to them, it just like, that's what I say. It's all on levels. It's what your level is of understanding. And it was very frustrating through my life and very to be misunderstood and stuff all the time. But it was very confusing until all this stuff happened. And, you know, once all this stuff started happening, that's when I started being like, oh my gosh. But seeing my own self, you know, because I just see, like, I was worried and embarrassed and scared to tell anybody in my family. And I knew I was going to be shamed and attacked and stuff. And then, so that was a huge thing. And that was like fucking a lot of people turned on me. I mean, my one daughter still won't even speak to me. So it was big. And, you know, when my siblings, I used to be so much closer, but they see me so different. And so anyways, everybody just sees me different. And but they're not awake yet. It's like I woke up and I started seeing things and stuff. And this became an outlet to be able to talk about it because I was so isolated. And so anyways, when I did start telling them and stuff, and everybody started turning against me, and they would say things off the news. They would say, you know, that I was wrong, I was lying and stuff, and I was watched it come out right out of his goddamn mouth. I was like, No, I'm not wrong. I watched this go down. And it just is like, at some point when they're not in that understanding, it just becomes wah, 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 wah. And then you're getting like, listen to me. And they're just like, they can't hear you. And you start getting frustrated. So I had to go through all that process of trying to shake them, like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you hear me? And so that is like, I went through that part. And that's why I get to the point. It's like, you guys can't wait. When you wake up, don't think like you can wake anybody else up. You can't. We all have our own time, and it all has to do with our lesson. We all have our own triggers. It's a thing. We're all on our own ride, and we got to have more respect for everybody else's. And that's part of my journey of what, I've been, trying to work on, really understanding these certain concepts and stuff of everybody having their own thing, and it's not my place, and just a lot of things. I try and share them throughout, so hopefully. Anyways, so she, see, she just keeps crying and crying. I did find some puppies. I did apply. It's like a little mixed puppy, a bunch of different things. But they should stay kind of medium size. They shouldn't go over 60 pounds, which is like a third of her size. Or at least see, she's probably 175 right now. She will not stop eating. She just keeps gaining weight. She's turning into a fucking chunk. That's what she wants to be. She wants to be a chunk, but then all of her bones and shit ache, and she can't carry around her chunkiness. But you watch, as soon as she comes in this goddamn door, she's gonna go straight in there and want her treats, and she's gonna come over and eat them. As soon as she finishes them, she's gonna start whining at me. And then if I give her another treat, she'll start whining. But as soon as she doesn't have one, it's like, she's going to drive me insane. She's absolutely going to drive me insane. I keep telling her, too, you're going to have me locked up in an insane asylum because you're driving me crazy. And she won't fucking stop whining at me. And so, anyways, so then that part was really, profound to me when I started waking up. And then but it was a lot of things to go through and to see and to understand, and then as I started doing this, it was like an outlet. And this is like a whole bunch of things. Like, I'll talk more about it, when we get to the other side, which things are flipping. It's like the cards are starting to go. It's like we're starting to flip the other way. It's like something, has happened. It's turned. And it was like the other morning I did get up and it did feel weird. Like, I was like, it does feel weird. It feels like maybe things are turning. And, but we want big signs. We want things to start fucking happening. But I think this week is going to. So this guy, he was saying, be prepared, because he said, because things are so bad that have to go down to wake people up. And he said, and you can see like the bad events, like the first one, it woke a whole ton of people up. But there was tons and tons, like not near, like it was very small amount, because I'm telling you, we went around trying to talk to people, and it was like, you can see now it's still like that. And so then he said, in the next one, the sickness, that was a huge one. It woke tons and tons of people up, and all the different things, like there was all different things that woke people up. And so then so he said, so this one that's going to go down now, he said, this one's going to be really, really bad. But that's why I keep trying to tell everybody, this is about the awakening. Everybody thinks it's all these different things. It's about the awakening. And it's a natural progression into the cycle of they lose everything and we gain it. So we will go into this jubilee, this abundance. And that is in the progress of happening right now this week. Like, everybody's seeing like Wall Street is opening up low this week. All these people have already been selling their stocks off. All these rich people, like this is it. This is really it. And so this is no longer a test. We're finally here. It sure sounds like it. And the big expectation is this week is going to be hot. It's going to be scary. It's going to be intense. And it seems like they've got things set up around places. But he said that whatever is going to go down, it's going to be super, super bad. And there's things like there's this Ingersoll, and I don't really get, is what I was hearing before. Ingersoll was the one who wrote this Barron Trump's Adventures or something. And then people were looking at that, and then there's something about Ingersoll and the debt clock or something. There seems to be these links. I haven't gone that much and listened to all these different people. They just keep popping up. So right now I'm just trying to put together these links of what they're talking about, because I really don't know. And this picture that they keep trying to decipher, and now another picture has come up, so they're all trying to decipher it. And see, there's a whole group of these people. They're on like Telegram, Rumble, and stuff like that. So then when they go on it, you know, you're just trying to like pick up, but I don't go and join their group and get all into it, and you know, but all these different groups all have, you know, people interested in the same things, the same residents, all looking into things and sharing information. And so on this one, the one picture where it had, and so the Air Jordan thing was to represent 2023, and I can't remember now. It was something still they were saying about it, why it represents 2023, and then the clock and how it says 11:16, and then it has the rabbit, the white rabbit, pointing at the clock, saying we're running out of time, and so this whole breakdown that they did. And so now another one has come up, and this one is like a little gerbily mouse thing, like us, the mice, the rats. We dressed in little clothes, like they make fun of us like in cartoons or something. I know that people make all this stuff, like other people write it, but they also, there's certain things that when you go and try and get a movie or a show or something on, there's these certain group of people who, well, we want more of this, a little less of that. We want more of this, we'll change that, do this, you know. And those people just happen to be blue. Boy, I'll tell you what, the fucking people who are on that right now, like, god damn, they've been running this fucking place. I can see it. Hold on. Okay, come on, hurry. I'm busy. No, I'm working. Oh my gosh, still on. Ooh, I'll get you one. Hurry up. I'm trying to do my work. Okay, 5 minutes of no whining because she's got something in her mouth. Okay, so but we get a lot of dramatic head shaking. I get so much better when she's snoring. I feel so less distracted. And okay, and she just whips me around all day long. And then, but it's me, it's my own self, and I'm trying to stand up to her and tell her stop it because they're whining. I was like, what's wrong? Oh, can I help you? What can I do? And so she's just become, you know, one of those kids that just sit around whining and all the goddamn time, I think. But I know she really has aches and pains, but it's like, dude, I can't fucking do anything about it. I got my own goddamn aches and pains. So she shouldn't have ate so many fucking people. So, anyways, then, so the people, okay, so the things are going to get really bad. And so it was the same thing on all these recordings I keep hearing. So they're saying that it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The market's just going to go boom, 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 boom. And Wednesday, the Wednesday or Thursday, the housing thing is going to crash, which is good because I swear to God, I have, you know, dealing with this nonsense with mine, which, you know, in their world, that, you know, I'm in the wrong because, well, you should be paying your payment, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But when you start breaking free and you start knowing your rights, and then you start having, you know, judges, that's why I know Whatcom County is corrupt as shit, because they are going against, like they're making their own, like, you know, well, it'll just play out. But so, you know, but them to try and be taking it when that's like illegal right now, like debts become illegal and debt collectors have become criminals. And so for them to be doing it, you know, it's like you're digging your own grave, dude. And so, you know, and I'll stand up for myself until, like I said, I mean, shoot me in the head, I'll still stand there until, you know, I'll fight to my last breath for freedom. What's the point of living if you're living under control? And so then, with see how distracting it is? Now she's doing this itching and stuff. It's like, okay, I'm trying to focus here. Okay, so, because I don't know what that thing, I guess they call it attention deficit, where it's like, to me, it's like, it's just my sensors. Like, I've got a lot of sensors. Like, if I was a spider, I don't just have 8 eyes. I've got them everywhere, and they pick up sound and everything. Oh, well, this is sensors. So that is, it's like the sounds, everything is just like it's intense. And so it's distracting. Okay, so let me think for a sec. So the shit going down this week, and there was some other thing, I can't remember. There was some big event that I think it might have been the Army guy was saying, but they're expecting that these people, because that's when they did September event, was over this same situation, over this money thing. And then they went in and they took it all, and it was supposed to be, you know, the government, like, it was going to admit and give us money. I don't know, it was the whole thing. But then they went the other direction, decided, no, we're just going to take it and kill them all. Like, fuck them. We want the money. So, anyways, but now, you know, 20 years later, justice will come in our favor. But we had to go through a lot of stuff, and all this stuff is the story, though. You gotta remember, all this stuff is the story. It's the story of this history. We're just in it. And so we are trying to, you know, that's the thing about when you're the soul and you're in it. It's very different to experience something than it is to read about it or watch it. And so that is, you know, what the soul's incarnate about, is to go into the story, to go into the experience so that they can feel it, because it's so impactful. And in this lower density where you have, with the matter and stuff, where it can be manipulated, where we can feel, where in the idea of what we think what feeling would be or what taste would be or something. So it's, I don't know, I find it really interesting and fascinating. But so anyways, because what we are is just like pure light, but we are powerful. Like, we can come in all forms, just like how shapeshifters are. Like, we're the same thing. And, you know, those are just same as us. We're all the same. It all depends on whatever level you are. So some beings, you know, like these ones that are running, so their vibration's lower. It's like they're bound to this lower vibration, and they've kept themselves here so long. Like, our vibrations are all way higher than these people. And the ones who have been here for, you know, millennium or whatever the fuck, have been here since the beginning at different times, like, because there's still been different beings and stuff that have come to this place. It's I don't know, I think it's way more central station than we realize. And so anyways, so the people, so this event is going to happen this week, and it's going to be super dramatic. And then there's something on these pictures or something. They're saying that there's going to be the water thing. And there was something else. It was like a few different things I had seen. It was somebody had a dream. And then it was this other thing saying this and that. But it really starts getting me again, feeling like, oh my gosh, is this going to be the thing? And I'm going to be over here in the water is going to start raising. And we're all going to have to try and be evacuating and getting away. In the fucking passes are all snowed up and stuff. That's what they try and do. I saw in one place, this one, I think it was in LA, because I had gotten a message on my comments one day, and this lady was, she was in LA, and she said that they were setting things around and closing off roads or something. I think it was two different conversations. One was somebody taping about something that they were seeing in the neighborhood, and this other one was this person in my comments. But whatever, both people were noticing that things were being put and roads were being closed off for some reason. It didn't make any sense. But I know that makes sense to them. See, they've got the big map. They're looking down. They're like, close this one, just like they did for Hawaii. They are... you know, it's about this containment. It's about, you know, mass murder. But remember, you can't die. It's just a game. And it's like Battleship. And, it's just a game. So, it's like Battleship because we're fighting this force. We're trying to outsmart them, outwit them. And to me, it's like a lot of it is just your inner growth, your inner strength, not letting them, fuck with you and fuck with your mind and fuck with your energy. And, but there's no winner or loser. It's not like you're going to leave the game and be like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. You're playing, I'm sure you're playing your part perfectly fine. And there's way more acceptance for yourself when you're outside of the experience. It's like you're really hard on yourself in the experience. And okay, let me think. Just going to keep up the distraction techniques. I always think too, it's like sometimes those low level energies, when they can't get to me, they just go to the next step where they know that they can get to me. I feel like there's a lot of interference, a lot. Okay, let me think, because there was something else I was going to say, like, because I have these 3 people coming into my head, Deron, and just seeing like that whole energy of just being out there looking for trouble, for, I don't know, he's got like a group, all these people that get on there, like what I was saying during 2020, when those lives were going, nobody else was going to go and listen to them. I was like on my own, and I was new to YouTube. I just, I was in my beginning stages of my love affair with YouTube too. And so I've got to practice my breathing techniques to stay focused. Okay, so but that is when I started listening to other people. That's when I, left the liberal room and went into the hallway and decided, let's see what's up over here, and started looking around, listening to what other people were talking about. Started seeing, they got totally different newspapers, they got totally different publications, they got totally different information coming in for them. That's weird. And then you go start listening to them, and it's like, oh man, they've got the same complaints as us. And then so, yeah, and then that's when I started seeing, though, there was people who were losing their rights. Oh, that's a big thing too. There's a bunch of stuff, like there's going to be, the things that are going to be really coming forward is a lot of political stuff. A lot of stuff is going to be exposed. And they're leaking stuff out over, the first month of the year situation. They're leaking stuff out where people who are involved. And that's why I was saying, everything that happens, like the people are playing a role. Those people that happened to, they're playing a role. Some, everybody had the opportunity to go up against the beast. And so they are taking the beast on from this direction. And so they have like there's a resonance or something with them. They're here to play that role together. And so they are, but this couple was sharing something on TikTok, and they were like, this is weird. They're just exposed themselves. Like, this is just out here. Like, this is coming out. This is going to expose a lot of shit. So that is, and I think that's why Trump is saying, lights are coming on. No more of this, no more of that. The lights are coming on. And then it's kind of like, well, we're going to see how it goes down, because, I know they're trying to buffer it and make it not go into crazy chaos, but they've got the chaos set up. And, but, the military on the ground here is to protect us. It's not to go against us, it's to protect us. And we've got like National Guard and stuff. I think a lot of the other things, like, or they're deploying this and all that, just like a lot of the big show, to really build attention, because that's what they're trying to do for these people, is build attention, get them scared. And I go and I talk to them, and everybody's just like, la da 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 da. Oh, what are you going to do this weekend? They're all in their own worlds. They're cut off. And the more that things got extreme, the more they dived into their world. But this is going to be, and that is not just people There's all levels, because there's people who think they are awake who are not awake. And so that is what this event is going to do. This is going to be lights on. There is going to be, things that are going to be like, what? At the same time, everything's crashing and falling apart. Things are being exposed. It's going to be like think about like when a bad earthquake starts, and how everything's rumbling and everything's falling, and there's just utter chaos. That's what it's going to be like. It's like our whole world is about to fall apart. And it's, some of us are going to be standing back, like those of us who are in observation at this point, who have been going through this awakening for a while, that we are, observing, and it doesn't affect us the same. And then there's all the huge amount of people that's going to really affect in all different ways. That's the people who I keep saying this, like they're locking in. Everybody's locking in. Get ready, lock in. Your final answer. What is your final stand on this? It's like, okay, let's see how it plays out. And then, so everybody's locking in. And so then when it flips, that's when everybody's like, that's when the real awakening happens. That's when the big, because it's going to wake up a ton of people. Because this person was saying like 6% of the people won't ever wake up. And that's where it's kind of curious to see. Like, I'm curious, like, is religion going to hold my mom? Bound her, it's things that bind the mind. Is you got to let go of these things. And so, there's going to be a lot of people that won't, but that doesn't mean that because they don't hear, it just is in the game. It doesn't mean when they leave that they forget who they are. No, when they leave, it's all of a sudden like, oh, fuck, I can't believe it. So don't, there's nothing for us to stress about. Like, oh, the 6%, oh my God, what are we going to do? What if they never wake up? You guys, it's a game. It's a game, and yeah, some people can't get over the shit until they get out of the game, and then they remember. So it's just, it's like a memory game, literally. Like, remember who you are, no matter how things get. And so, but this part will be, because I see so many people who think they're awake, who are, anti this and hateful this and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, so there's going to be a big, when the lights come on, that is when people are going to see their own selves. Like, this is how it's going to work. People are going to suddenly, it's like a mirror is in front of them. The energy they were putting out is going to hit them, and it's going to be coming from them. And so that is going to send us into this energetic wave, and it's going to be so much, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be real heavy for a lot of people. And it's going to be the dark winter. It's going to be heavy. People are going to be super, super sad. And then they're, and I don't know what the winter is going to be like. It's supposed to be a really bad one. It's sure starting out shit. So, it's just hard to know, because how much of the stuff is just with their weather machines, if they've already got it in motion. Is it going to be because it's the energetic force that has to happen for the cleansing? Like, I don't know. So whatever happens, you got to just know it's part of what is supposed to happen. Don't be scared. Like, if we go into this shit ass winter, don't be getting down and being like, oh, great, now it's going to be shit. No, it's going to be, spring comes and it's fucking new, beautiful world's going to come out of it. So don't stress if it's going to be like, a really shit winter and everybody's fucking, because everybody has to purge this darkness out, purge this disease out. It's like everybody has to get sick and purge it out. Think of micro, macro, of the soul is purging out a lot of sickness, a lot of darkness. And that hibernation phase, what is like winter time, is a hibernation phase to go inward, to go inside, to purge out all of this pain and suffering and stuff. So it's going to be very effective. But, if you struggle with depression, you've got to learn to manage yourself. These are all your things to learn how to deal with yourself. Like, how do you combat depression? Do you go sit in a dark room and watch movies that make you cry all day? Maybe so. Maybe you give yourself a day to do that. Purge out all the tears you can. Feel all your feelings. But, then you don't get stuck there. You don't just sink in. Don't get stuck. That dark energy will want to hold you down and hold you back. You know, you turn on the lights. You do things that make you happy. Yeah, you force yourself. Well, so many people, well, I just can't. I can't even get up. I can't even go pee. I can't do this. I can't. Yeah, you can. You're choosing not to. It's hard. It's fucking hard, but you make yourself. You just take one leg and you throw it over the bed and you just force the other one and you just force yourself up. And then you start, energy begets energy. You start movement. You start doing something. Turn on happy music. Turn on lights. Put some nice smells that make you happy. Cook, you know, put on the coffee pot if you like the smell of coffee. Like, do something of the smells like that bring you back home, that bring you back to, you know, set the stage for yourself. Start being proactive in your own life, setting the stage. What do you want? What do you want this day? You know, but then don't feel like, well, I can never have a day of sadness. No, you got to take the days of sadness. You got to have the days to let it all out, let it release, to reflect, to process, to go through, like, what all things, like, what am I carrying this week? What things affected me? How am I feeling? You know, go replay, let go of things, and you know, just shed whatever is binding you, whatever is holding you back. You know, spend the time processing it to understand it in a deeper way so that you can let go of it. And remember, all those things are happening for you to learn, for you to grow. Lady, I'm busy working, you know that. I know I love you so much, you big whiner. Oh gosh, she's so precious. You gotta see her. Hold on. Look how cute you are. Look at that precious face. Look at that precious face. There's a precious little lady. Look at you. How can you not love that face? God, she's a precious. She's a whiner, though, and she's dramatic, and she thinks she's the queen of the world, and I just love her. So, okay. So on that, so we got the game, the players, where we're headed. So when this stuff goes down, see, there will be some people who are going to fall apart over the housing market. They're going to fall apart. That's going to be their brain injury. Like, because to me, there's a thing that is just taken. It's an abrupt removal of something, you know, and everybody's got their own things. And so, you know, not everybody has to get a brain injury to wake up. So anyways, all these events are going to be happening, infecting people. So there's going to be different people's lives blowing up at all different levels. Confirmation. Micro and macro is going to be all different levels of different people's lives falling apart. And I heard this economic guy, it seemed to be, I mean, the stuff he was saying seemed to be, he was saying that people should diversify. This is something that people are really going to have to learn. So remember, there's lessons in all this stuff. And that, as the people who are the seeders, that's what you're always looking for. Not judgment. You're trying to look at things in an analytical way. You know, what's broken? How can we fix it? Because that is the movement towards this, as a seeder for the new world. And then, I mean, I just know that that's what I'm about. So there's all different things. But so for the people who are in alignment with me, who, you're going through all this stuff, and it is at all different levels. Things are going to affect all different people. You're going to be affected by different things. We're all going to be affected by different things. And but just keep in mind, this is what it's all about. It's this shedding of this old skin. It's like letting go. It's what we need to let go of so that we can be new, so we can be fresh, so we can be ready. And we have to look at things in a deeper way. We have to see what's broken. We have to see. But then as a spiritual person, you got to realize, like, oh, this is just cycles. These are just lessons. Don't get all caught up. Don't get so down by it all. Don't be so down about your own self. You got to love yourself. That's an important part of it. Important part of the lessons here. Learn to love yourself. So it is, There's great purpose in everything happening. It's just, it's hard and it's sad and it's scary to people that have forgotten who they are because they don't understand purpose. They just think, they're flesh and blood having an experience, and, us weirdo people want to make more out of it than what it is. It's like, no, you just are very limited in your thoughts. Like, you're very limited in your abilities to see. You're very contained. You're very controlled in the mind. So, and, but it's at all different levels, and we have to see. There has to be all the different levels. It's what gives us perception. It's what gives us perspective. It's how we base our understandings. So it's a necessary part of understanding and development, but it's also, it's our own ego that gets us caught up in like hierarchy and I'm better than you, and and that's where we want to keep releasing. So as you go through any of this stuff, just keep releasing the parts where you're trying to judge others because they're not on the same step you are, and just keep remembering there's people up ahead of you. They could be judging you. We got to get out of this judgment thing. We got to let everybody be on the steps they're supposed to. We can't all be crowded on the same goddamn step. So everybody's got a place, and we got to be way more of like, oh, okay, it is like the movement of like I'm seeing like a snake or a belt or something. The movement, it has a movement when we're all in our places making our moves. When we're all trying to make everybody else's moves and do it's a bunch of chaos. So it is the movement, the flow. And so when you pull into yourself and you live through your experience and accept yourself and love yourself, and we all are doing it together, we're in a flow. And when we stop and we take time and we got to, fix their life, we got to control their life, we got to do this, we got to do that. Like, we're taking on a lot of shit. It's not even our role, and that's lessons right there. You got a lot of lessons. And then you'll be burdened, and then you got people dependent on you, and, oh, fix this for me, fix that for me. You're not doing them any favor. Everybody's got to learn to champion themselves. Everybody's got to learn that they're their own savior from the start. I mean, that's what we got to get started teaching kids from the get, is that they are their own saviors. They are the creators of their world. They are the ones who create if they're, negative or positive or whatever, but they're going to go through some negative stuff because they're here to learn. They're going to experience some stuff, but to always be aware of their lessons. That's the universe pushing back on you. That's the universe puts up their own buffering system. And when you're in tune with it, when you're not trying to keep knocking the walls down, then, it's easy. You stay just, it's real easy to stay right here. But there's a purpose to, having the bumpers go down and for the soul to just be able to go way out. Then we can see like, woo, they go way out there, don't they? Where are you guys? It's bad out there. I'm not going out there. A bunch of weirdo, sicko pervs out there. Fuck that. And but there's a lot of them that go way out there. And so, but it shows how far the rubber band can stretch. It gives the universe intelligence. In any of the things that anybody does that puts out, it's like you're responsible for your own mess. So it's not like the universe has to clean it up for you. You have to clean it up for yourself. If you have to come back 25 lives to clean it up, that's your problem. So you got yourself into this mess, get yourself out. And that's why, as an advancing soul, you are mindful of what you're putting out. Well, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to say that? What's the benefit here? Who am I trying to, what? And to me, the question is always to just try and go in and see, what is the benefit? What am I trying to do here? What am I trying to fill a need? Am I trying to feel better? Am I trying to make a point? Like, just go in and question yourself. I swear to God, the more you go in and question yourself, the more you're going to find like, there's a lot of shit you don't say. Especially coming from somebody who is super impulsive. Like, that was one thing that constantly I would be, be in a crowd and people would be talking and I would say something. Every turn to me like, oh my God, you just say anything that comes in your head? I was like, yeah, don't you? It's like, no. Like, oh, so that's not acceptable? Huh. There's a lot of things I have done that weren't acceptable for the general population. Like certain things, you don't talk about that. You don't say that. You don't think about that. It's like, why? So anyways, but there has to be weirdo people like me who always are pushing the boundaries and going outside. But I'm not going out there in the dark, I'll tell you that. Whoever wants to go out there in the dark, they can do it. I will push up against boundaries. I will break the rules. I'm not gonna have somebody telling me the rules of my existence. But yeah, I don't. That to me is like the same thing as watching Duran go through LA, through the city, which today I did recognize when he was saying Figueroa. And I kept trying to think, Figueroa, I used to be on Figueroa. Where was I on Figueroa? Was it, maybe that's when I was going to school in LA at the Fashion Institute. Um, I don't know. I can't remember, but I definitely Figueroa. Um, but I don't know. I kept trying to think of like, where is he? I'm trying to put, I could get out the map if I really want to get serious about it, try and follow along. Oh, that's where he is. That's where he is. I'm trying to figure out, but he's definitely in downtown LA, like where shit is gonna go down. And it's like he's wanting it though. He's like fucking. He'll tell all the people. He'll look at how many people. And like yesterday, I think last night, or the last time I saw him, because it was like he disappeared again yesterday. But then he goes home, and then he goes live and he sits and talks to his people there, and then he goes back out at night looking for trouble, and then he'll sit there and tell them to all start manifesting it together. He does so see, he understands that part. That's what I'm saying. People are the levels of awakeness. Like he understands about manifesting. Let's all send our energy where what we want. And we want some drama. We want some crimes going on. So let's all manifest it together. See, he's gonna get what he wants. He's manifesting it. He's going to get what he wants. I talked to my brother yesterday and we are just chatting. He had sent me a picture of his little granddaughters. He said, when I saw them sitting there being best friends, it just reminded me of those two granddaughters of yours but both of my pairings of granddaughters, they were best friends. And them being little and so cute and stuff like. And so anyways, I got to start talking. And I said something and he never answered back. But we kept talking, but it was like he was real quiet there for a minute, and then I swear it was like doing the little thing, but then it stopped, and then he didn't say anything about it, but then he said something about something else. So maybe he just didn't see it. Maybe it really threw him, because this is where my family is like, he thinks I'm a wackadoo. And I said, it's weird how you had said you wished you got a brain injury, and when we were driving that day, and now look where we are. Isn't it weird how we can talk things into existence? And he didn't say anything. But anyways, it's all different levels, it's all different levels. Like I'm sure he puts a lot of his healing into the doctor's hands, and he doesn't realize, like, no, you healed yourself, dude. And they cut that thing out, but you could have taken some worming medicine too and not let him cut into your head. And then, but you heal yourself. And he, he changed his attitude through the thing for sure, because he thought he was going to die. And he was like, and he was okay with it. He was like, I'm okay with it. I've lived a good life and stuff. But then, something switched and he decided he was going to do whatever it was. I don't know. So, because I haven't been in the circle since I came out as a T-Dog supporter. So anyways, but he did chat to me for a little, and I do get a chat here and there from a sibling every once in a while. So anyways, what was I going to say? Cause was it something on Duran? Being downtown? Oh yeah, because him wanting to manifest. So, but then to not understand about grounding. So, but it's like you're on the conveyor belt through life. You're going to see the things as they awaken. Like it's all set up. It's set up, but this event that's going to go down, and it's going to be this week. I feel sure, because I feel like the money, and then there's going to be switching of things, and a lot of stuff coming to the surface about politics and stuff like that would be exposed, and that is going to be traumatizing so many people. It's going to really send a jolt. So it's going to be a big part. Wait, and then all these people who have been so locked in on certain sides and you know, that is going to be exposed, and they're going to be like, and then all this money things, and you know, all the how much people hold on to money, what they've done for money, all these different things, all that kind of stuff is going to be coming up. It's going to collapse. People are going to, oh yeah, those realtors, yeah, because I had seen, you know, the one day I'd seen somebody talking about like they've got more. The same thing that they sent me, that they're taking all these people's houses. Like a third of the people of the in our America are getting their houses taken this quarter or something. And you know, and the houses that weren't taken in the storms, the last houses left, you're gonna take the rest of them now in court. And they, you know, they'll push anything. I'm dying to see about that lady, if she can do the banking thing, if she is going to get her money or get her car or something, because she's like really trying to figure all this stuff out. And it's like, girl, I think that you're about to get, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, because there should be bank runs and stuff this week. There should be a lot of anger, a lot of tension building. You know, it's gonna be nutty. Just think about fucking Black Friday, and this is gonna be worse. And so there'll be, you know, panic over the money. So we gotta go through that whole process, and then people's anger and stuff, and then there will be people walking off jobs. It's gonna be like, there's gonna be a lot of drama once this starts going. And it's looking like it's going to, like they had it set up, like it was gonna open up this, it's supposed to be opening up 10% down or something, and it's expected to go to 20% down. And these real rich billionaire people like have been selling off all their stock, like all JP Morgan and stuff like that. So they're, the bank things are, it's just going to crash. Everything's just going to start crashing. Just like what I was saying in that visual of like being in a, what was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie when, I don't know, was he going? It's kind of like what reality really is. And he was like going into all these dreams or something, but when it was like, he would be leaving them and it would be crashing. And so that is kind of like what we're going through right now. It's like this other reality that is going away. It's just crashing. So it's going to crash. And, you know, and then in that visual, you know, those of us who are aware and watching, you know, we're running like, oh, you know, we got somewhere to go. See you on the edge of Aquarius, guys. But then, you know, there's the people who have to have it crash on them. And it is, you know, it's part of the storyline. It's part of where did it take us? How did we get there? You know, so it's part of humanity's storyline. And so people who are playing those parts, it's playing those parts, you know. I mean, we got to have parts in the story. Like, the story's got to be played. So everybody's got different parts. So the... you know, all these parts are being played out. So there'll be, you know, things will crash down, and, you know, micro, macro, it's going to affect everybody in all different ways. Some will, it will be the end of them, and some will be the beginning for them. And so it's going to be a huge spectrum of events, but it's going to be that the reality is crashing down around us. And the things, I've said this since the beginning, the things that people hold on to will be the things that are just ripped out of their arms. It's going to hurt the worst. And apparently the dollar bill, y'all, is one of them. It's going to be ugly. So can really relax on that meditation music, huh? We got 40% off at Michael's. So, and hold on, there it is. Oh, and that's a video we'll play after. They won't even give you the option to skip it. 2 commercials while in meditation music, won't even give you the option to skip them. Are you fucking kidding me? Goddamn YouTube. Our love affair is not as pure as it once was. Once I got a little bit more involved, it was like, these fuckers. I literally, yesterday, I was, looked on my, things to see, because apparently when I first record, the ones that, that day, it's really hard to watch it. Sometimes you can't watch it till the next day, and it just will keep spinning and spinning and spinning, apparently. And, so, you know, once I started having people tell me that, then I'll watch how the numbers go. Like, I'm trying to see I'm just trying to watch what they're doing. And I saw while I was watching them dump numbers back. So I knew they were removing things. Like there's so much manipulation that goes on, and I know they do it on TikTok too. TikTok is, oh my gosh, but the whole thing is like my voice is just so contained, but the containment is coming out. The containment, as this world falls apart, as everything crashes, that's our containment. And so many people, scared of not being contained. But, I'm more of a wild animal. I'm free. So, I'm not scared. And so but, I have respect for the people who are. I get it. It's like, I understand. I get fear. I'm like, fuck, I'm fucking scared a spider's gonna get my goddamn ear while I'm sleeping. Last night, I didn't sleep with anything in my ears. But the night before, I put cotton. But it's just so uncomfortable to sleep with something in my ear. But it's going to be uncomfortable for a fucking little insect family to make a home in my ear, too. And I don't want to fucking have them crawling out of my fucking ears. Oh, God. And how do they even go in our ears? This isn't even real. Like, what the fuck? This is so crazy. So, anyways, I don't want to suck in any vibration of the fucking spiders, but then I had this fucking spider come in my dream. It was so crazy. It was so big, and it was so black, and it was running, and it was jumping, and it was hollering at me. And I was like, what? That spider's talking. And I don't even remember the whole thing. It seems like it was real quick, but I don't know. Like my nighttime thing is weird. It's just weird. It's like, I don't know. Daytime is weird. Peeing's weird now. Like, what isn't weird? Eating's weird. Like, everything's weird. It's like, it's just different. It's like, it's just this constant changing. You got to be comfortable with everything changing and falling apart. But, so as all of the things fall apart, see, that takes away our restraints and makes us be able to see and be more open. Or something else. There was something else I was seeing, but now I can't remember what it was. And see, I'll block myself. That's why so many times I've just got to don't try and force it. Just let it, allow it to come in, allow it to come back in. Don't try and, because then it's like you start overthinking or something. As soon as you start trying to force something, it's way more about relaxing and letting it come to you. And that is definitely something that I've learned through this, I don't know, trying to communicate what they tell me to communicate. So, okay, let me think if there was something else. Okay, so, yeah, Deron, he's pulling in the, I've got to see tonight. I got to see what's going on tonight over there in LA and in New York. Like, there's a few guys in New York. And yesterday, like last night, I was going on and I was trying to find some stuff live, and I couldn't find stuff. I found a couple people. I found a couple protests in some other countries and stuff. Definitely none of the protests I've seen where it's actual people there doing the footage are anything like what they've shown on, I don't know if they're showing them on the news or whatever, but these videos I've seen, it's like propaganda videos or something. It's like they are not that big. And and I did hear there's lots, like I think there was a protest, I think in Florida that turned violent. Like I think there's a lot that are turning violent. We're not going to hear about every single one. But there's going to that's just a given. This tension is building. The people who are out there, it's their roles. It's the roles they've come into play. So they're following their drive, whatever that is. If it was that they're cut off from their soul, they'll see that on the other side. That's their lessons. So there's nothing, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. There's nothing that we need to worry about or try and handle or anything. The only thing we need to do is handle our own mind, our own psyche as we're going through it. And so anyway, I'm going to for sure watch that. If you're on TikTok, you can go and watch any of these things too live. There's a whole live section, and there's a lot of these people that just go around different towns and cities and just looking and showing people, what the city's like and stuff. There's people who do it in the country too, I think. There's all sorts of people showing all different things, but the live city ones I like right now, just because I know that shit's about to go down, and it's like you can see, and there's definitely tension building. Like it was even that little Ladon. How do I do that every time? Daron. Every time when he says that for the last couple days when I've watched him, he has said that there's so much more activity, there's so many more cops, there's so many calls, and it's really crazy. But he's trying to, manifest some big drama right next to him. So, yeah, everybody, they can all get in there and watch and stuff. That's voyeurism going to a whole nother level, because people want to, but they're going to get what they want. They're going to be witnessing some shit go down. And, this is just what we're just going to have to see. Definitely the most hit places are going to be the inner cities, because they can get the most amount of people. This the most for their bang of their buck, Out here, see, they can, just increase the arsenic in our water and just watch us slowly rot away. Our insides corrupted and, fuckery. So but the places are, because there's some event, and who knows if it's going to be several, and who knows if it's going to be, a big old, Hawaii 10-minute moment of the missiles are on their way kind of situation. Whatever it is, just keep in mind, this is the event that is meant to scare the shit out of people. And one thing that I have noticed too with the people, it doesn't do any good to keep minimizing their experience. This is their experience. So if you want to participate in their experience, be, yeah, this is real. Pull them into their experience, and don't be negative. It's like, help them. It's like the visual I'm seeing is they're on the dock and you're on the boat, and help them get in the boat. So, it's going to make me cry, because that's what we all need to be doing. So much more is helping each other off the dock and into the boat. And so anyways, just keep that in mind as this shit is playing out, when they're like, yeah, but this is going on, and we're going to have this and all the money and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Like, I've said so much to my kids. Like, if they turn around and they start saying that stuff to me, but I'm saying to other people who are just waking up, and you don't use these things to try and, that's your ego. If you want to try and use these things to make your point to these people, you remember, you're trying to help them onto the boat. They are not doing this on purpose. They aren't doing this to you. They aren't trying to hurt you. They are locked into mind control, and not the government is trying to wake them up. It's like there's an energy, there's a positive light energy that is trying to help people wake up, because this whole event happening, this changing of the ages, it's a cataclysmic event. It's, the whole thing is going to fall apart. So people need to wake up. They need to wake up so that they can run. So anyways, everybody's got to wake up to what's going on. So it's important. That's why it's all about this awakening, because these events are real. This reality is ending, and we're moving into a new one. And so people have to wake up to prepare. And like I said, there's way more to this preparation than just realizing it, knowing it, seeing it. No, you've got to release everything that was a part of you from that other world. As that world falls apart, you've got to let all the parts of you that were attached to that fall apart with it. And as it's falling apart, it's going to hurt a little. Parts of you that, are really attached to you are going to be pulled away, and it's going to hurt. And so, allow yourself to process. And remember, this winter will be, if that's how it turns into, which I'm kind of seeing it, is like it's a hibernation phase. It's a phase for you to go internal, go inside yourself and heal your wounds, and come out in the spring ready to rock it, because it's going to take off and things are going to go. And we're going to go into really exciting times. We're going to have people we've been working on hover cars. And I don't know if David Wilcock is anymore. I don't know. I see him a little lost in his ego right now. Because it was one thing when he was real up there in the front of the leading on all this stuff. Then there was a lot of shit that broke down, a lot of relationships and stuff, and he's found himself in an isolation. But it's his healing. It's what he's supposed to go through. But I feel like now he's like trying to convince people of his importance. But those of us who know him and stuff, he's always going to hold that place in our hearts. Like, he's a huge important factor in my my existence. So he just doesn't realize how important he is. That's gonna make me cry too. God damn. He just doesn't realize how important he is to so many people right now. But his ego is trying to get it himself to be important. I think he has other roles and stuff. Like, he was a leader. He opened the doors for so many of us. So, but I don't know what his involvement is with the hover cars. But bet your ass, there's shit going on. There's big progress being made in all of these, the release of all these different things that are going to make big changes in our life. And so it's going to start going in a really good direction. But there is, these things that we got to get through. And so I think that is what this winter is going to be about. I think it is going to be cold and hard, and it's going to be a lot of sadness, and there's going to be violence. There's going to be in all different places. This is like going to be the big purge before the spring newness, where things are going to start. But, 2024, they're saying is going to be intense because we're going to go through, so that winter, don't think of it as just being that part of the season. The winter can take us through that whole year, that energy. But that makes sense to me because I'm telling you, it was my dark night. It was a long fucking winter, man. It was like 8 months. It was really shit winter, and the snow was so fucking deep. It was crazy. And it was my first one alone. Man, it was crazy. And but this, just because January comes, it doesn't mean, okay, so winter, in March we'll have, no, because this can drag out, because it's all going to depend on the exposure. And it is going to depend on the pace, it seems, that goes with the people. So, they're not going to rush people if people are falling apart. And they'll read that they have a way of reading the tension and stuff. I know they do in comments and stuff, which, go in and read people's comments. You can. It is like a barometer. So you can see. So I'm sure they'll just watch how it's going. It's going to be a lot, man. It's going to be a lot. People who have relied on antidepressants, like, I don't even know if they're going to have access to some of this stuff. I don't know. Everybody's going to be on their own real personal thing. This is going to be a real personal journey for everybody. And but this is our journey home. This is what moves us. And so however long this winter is, it's there for you to hibernate, for you to cleanse, for you to heal and get through, because there is no place for the darkness in where we're headed. We're headed into, abundance and joy and love. And now, it seems like if the money crashes or something, maybe the government is going to step in. I can't see them just putting like a ton of money in a bunch of people's accounts, but they're going to keep everybody going. So don't stress about like, yeah, but how will we make it and stuff? Because I know that that's going to be a big burden to a lot of people, but that's where you got to trust the universe. I'll be taken care of. Don't worry. You'll be taken care of, and if people weren't prepared and they have to go through some fear about that and not having stuff, that is a part of their lessons. Just keep in mind, every single person who's going through some sort of hard, horrible thing, and they think it's just them or something. It's like, this is for everybody's lessons. Everybody has lessons to get through, to release. It's the things that are supposed to trigger you, to release the things you need to let go of, to move into the light. So, anyways, it's all about this process. That's what this whole fucking shenanigans are all about. It's about their world is ending, a new one is beginning, and we gotta wake all the people up who have been hypnotized by the old one. And it is it's a hard thing to wake up to your own darkness, your own the bad guy that lives inside of each of us. It's hard to wake up to that. I mean, your ego, it's ego work. You got to, face yourself. So anyways, let me think, was there anything else? Okay, so we'll watch this. I'll watch and see what I see over what's going on. I'm not going to go in and watch the market and stuff. I feel like it's all going to be crashing. And the housing thing, the debt thing, just like them fucking sending me a thing now. Capital One suddenly suing me in Whatcom County, another one that they put through. And after all this time. And so when all of this debt thing has already been taken care of. And I just think that there's probably a lot of counties where there's a lot of shenanigans or people are going to be arrested. And that, you got to remember who these people are. Neighbors, husbands, neighbors' wives. So there's going to be a lot of people who have done some shit that people are going to be like surprised. Like that there was a really rotten son of a bitch who was doing really shitty things. But he was at church on Sunday waving his hand saying hi to everybody. And he could keep that front going. Nobody knew he was a real piece of shit behind closed doors. So anyways, that's going to be a part of the revealing and part of the truth coming out. But just, as this is playing out and stuff, just remember, you're not trying to sit and scream at somebody. You should have gone on the boat sooner. Just put your hand out and help them. Remember, their reality is what they're really experiencing, what they're really going through. Just because we can see more to the picture, just because the picture's gotten way bigger for us, it's still very small for them. That's still their experience. Validate them, validate their experience, help them wake up. Don't shame them, don't beat them down. And just, be prepared for a lot of, all these people who have sat back, all these stupid ass people in my family, they don't wake up and they're such idiots. None of these people, they're not going to wake up. There's like people have gone dark over this wake part. And so then, all of a sudden it's going to be a shock to some of those people. And all these people are waking up. That's going to throw their whole story off. Everybody's stories are going to get all thrown off. But it's meant to. It's meant to get you to... it's going to change these stories up a bit. You're going to see more. Whatever you see right now, you're going to see more. That's the big thing. Whatever your view is right now, you're going to see way more. Your view is about to get way bigger. So anyways, just ride this week and, and prepare for winter. Prepare for what's to come. Get yourself ready, if you can still buy anything, get some art projects, get some journals, get some pens, and probably get some candles. But, journals are really good to help you as you're going through stuff. Just write it down. It just helps you get it out of you. And so writing down what you're going through and just it keeps the energy from not getting pinned up. It's a release for the energy. And during 2020 quarantine and stuff, tons of people found out that they could paint and draw, and everybody became artists. So go and start getting some canvases and start getting paper, colors, color pencils, anything to start letting that artistic side of you out. Everybody's kept these sides of them pinned up and held back. And now it's time to, get in and feel yourself. And remember, you don't have to be a perfect artist to do art. And you don't have to, and there's books. If you really want to become a good artist, there's tons of books that will explain to you about color and how to, there's rules to make a good painting. So you can just follow the rules. And there's tons and tons of books and stuff, different things you can paint. So just go in and do it. Don't be hard on yourself. And you can always paint over something. You can make a painting last 15 years if you want to. Just keep painting over and over it. You don't get caught up in this. Don't compare yourself. That's the thing. Don't think, well, I'm not a good enough artist. I'm not this. I'm not that. No, you're comparing yourself if you think you're not good enough. So you just got to enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy yourself. And anything you're trying to do and you think you're not good at it, just keep doing it. You'll get better. Just keep it up. Just keep trying. So, it was so much about is just enjoy yourself. Enjoy who you are. Learn who you are. Become who you are. So, anyways, I'm going to stop here. And we'll see how this day goes. Just be prepared and, be thinking ahead, of, look, if I'm going to be locked down for this whole entire winter and I'm going to be hit with a bunch of things I need to heal. And there's going to be tons of trauma and stuff out in the streets anyways. It's not going to be like this. Will be where people won't be just going out and walking around and drinking and stuff all the time, just mindlessly partying all the time. Shit is going to change. But I don't know, if, I think Trump is saying there's going to be a huge sweep up of these people and they're going to send them back to where they came from. I don't know. That could be in the process for all we know. We don't know. I think this is going to be a pretty fascinating thing. This is one thing that keeps being said. This is going to be a big show. It's going to be a dramatic, and buckle up. So just prepare yourself for the big show. And I will talk to you later.